Thanks, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you this morning. So I'm going to say something about the support, Enterprise Ireland supports for pharma and life science innovation. Let's see, can we make this work here? So in essence, I suppose I follow Ruth and Barry. Enterprise Ireland is the other industrial development agency. We have a similar, I suppose, long-term targets to the other two organisations in terms of creating employment, value, exports from the country, and we work very closely together. So a lot of the supports here are actually kind of state supports that cover the three agencies. So what I'll cover is Enterprise Ireland's role, the support we give industry, and the supports for startups. In terms of supporting innovation in pharma and life sciences, I suppose our focus is on creating and supporting innovation-led, high-potential startup businesses. These are the seeds that will grow into large companies in the future, but also I suppose they are the food for large companies to acquire and become part of this is the way the sector works. So a lot of our effort goes into innovative startup businesses. We support our client companies in terms of R&D that they undertake. It's about, I suppose, maximising the commercial return from state research. Fostering collaboration between industry and academia, and I suppose ensuring the maximum drawdown with SFI and IDA of EU programs like FP7 and what have you. I mean, the state sort of contributes to these, and it's important that we get our maximum share of these resources. And in recent years, Enterprise Ireland has become a fairly significant player in the venture capital seed and venture capital space. So in terms of the supports for R&D, there are, I suppose, two sides of the house. There's supports for companies and supports for higher education institutions, universities and other higher level institutions. In terms of the higher level institutions, essentially our support is around the Commercialisation Fund, it's called, and essentially it's about supporting commercialisation of research from these third level institutions. Typically from bench to market, and market I suppose is either a licence to a multinational, license to an Irish company, or a startup business, 2 to 5 years. And there is a sort of essentially a fund, typically kind of maximum of 600,000, with various go, no-go stages along the way. And then at the very end, some what we call commercialisation plus to try and, I suppose, ensure that these sort of commercial ideas actually do get out into the market. And in terms of the commercial activity from third level, it certainly is increasing fairly dramatically. You see over the last five years or so, LOAs I think are, what's the jargon? I think it's license, options and assignments, I think. But essentially licenses to multinational companies or to Irish companies. And the green line below it is spin-outs from third level. Again, that's increased fairly dramatically. 31 in 2011. And about half of those would be what we call high potential startups. This is kind of our jargon, HPSU, high potential startup. So about half of them are what we call high potential startups. These are businesses that have the potential to scale. And then about half of them, I suppose, would be businesses that probably have less scaling potential in the short term anyway. Every year we have a showcase of the best ideas that are coming out of, commercial ideas that are coming out of third level, and it's called the Big Ideas Showcase. The next one, the one coming up for, I guess, the current crop of spin-outs from third level and licensable opportunities from third level is in the 28th of November in Aviva. If you've never been there, I'd urge you to come along. We bring sort of investors, industry and what have you to see what's there and try and, I suppose, cement that commercialisation part, which is actually a pretty sort of energising kind of event just to see the number of ideas and support there. In terms of support for industry, I suppose we have a number of supports to foster sort of R&D in industry. At the very bottom there's innovation vouchers, 5,000 to do a small piece of work with a institute of technology or university, up to technology centres, 2 million per annum over 5 years. The technology centres on top there is a joint initiative of Enterprise Ireland and IDA. But and as you go down the sort of the table there, I suppose, well, if you go up the table, the budget increases as you go up. So from very small to very large sort of investments, the number of partners go up. So once you're above the innovation partner line there, I guess you're talking about multiple partners, and I guess the complexity of the collaboration sort of increases. In terms of the top one there, the technology centres, 2 million a year over 5 years or thereabouts. Essentially, they're about Irish companies, multinational companies and research institutions sort of working together collaboratively, undertaking market-focused strategic R&D. They're led by industry, and industry sets the agenda. And it's, as I say, it's an Enterprise Ireland and IDA sort of initiative. It's usually based in university with other universities feeding into it. So there are 10 technology centres on the go at the moment. See them on top there: biorefining, IT innovation, nanotechnology, and so on. And the box at the lower end there is the ones that we're pulling together at the moment: connected health, financial services, cloud computing, data analytics, and pharmaceutical manufacturing. So I guess the pharmaceutical manufacturing one is the one that maybe is of real interest here today. So that's essentially Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Technology Centre, PMTC, Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Technology Centre. It's about improving competitiveness of Irish sites, Irish companies, undertaking research in advanced manufacturing, to source additional funding through EU and other company projects, showcase advanced pharmaceutical manufacturing, and support the collaboration. The initial research focus is on essentially those, you've got them there: microbiological assays, continuous processing, soft sensors, real-time release of active ingredients, and packaging. And Brendan Lawler is the interim research manager. I think there will be a permanent research manager, or a full-time, or the real research manager, I guess, will be sought over the coming year. But Brendan Lawler is the manager pro tem. Sort of below that technology centres, there's what we call industry-led research networks. Again, these are collaboration, shared gender research by groups of companies. So essentially the funding is from the state, with some contribution in kind from the companies. There's one in animal health, in medical devices and diagnostics currently, and I guess we're always on the lookout for other potential industry-led research network programs. So it's about industry, I suppose, identifying kind of opportunities for collaborative research there. At an individual company level, there's the Innovation Partnership Programme. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's essentially up to 300k, 80k funding from Enterprise Ireland, essentially about companies doing research with third-level institutions. Then the main fund for supporting research is called the R&D Fund, and there are various levels of support there. 45% of eligible expenditure for a small company. The difference in terms of the company support is driven by EU state aid rules. And then there's for small R&D projects where the investment by Enterprise Ireland would be less than 150k. There's a kind of a fairly simplified application procedure, monthly call. So that's in terms of the support for existing companies, but we're also very kind of focused on fostering high potential startup businesses, technology-based startup businesses. So in essence, we're looking for new businesses that are in manufacturing or internationally traded services, that have the potential, that are based here in Ireland, that are headquarters here in Ireland, that have the potential to create more than 10 jobs within 3 years, we say. But in essence, it's around and focused on international markets. So if you want to start a technology business, how can we help you? Well, we get in about 1,000 I suppose, business propositions a year. We, I suppose, give some level of support to about a third of those. About a third of those we give feasibility study, some sort of a grant, send them off to a trade fair or what have you. And then we actually made a significant investment in about 100 of these a year. And we call them our 100 high potential startups. About 20 of them are in life sciences. Where do they come from, then, you might ask? And the background of the promoters, you see the two biggest slice there, they're managers in indigenous companies here, or managers in multinational companies. So most startup businesses, high potential startup businesses, the promoters are our managers, or were managers, or you might be one of those managers in a multinational company or indigenous company. 10% of them come from third level, and then there are serial promoters, I guess, people who have done it before and want to do it again. I suppose when we look at sort of Ireland's track record in startups, we're actually pretty good. I mean, we compare well with our international peers. So you could ask, well, where do we get more? Because I suppose the government asks, well, why can't we have more than 100? Why can't? And 100 is actually pretty good. And to some degree, I suppose you feel you don't want you want to maintain the quality and the potential of these. So we have looked at this, and I suppose one potential area is the third level area. I mean, sort of given the amount of R&D going on in third level, we say 15 high potential startups, per annum out of third level. Could we do better than that? And we have this program called Business Partners. Essentially, it's about getting experienced entrepreneurs who understand business, who understand how to make money, to take a look at the research in third level institutions and try and pull together kind of a business proposition there. And so, and that has been actually quite successful in pulling out high potential startups in the pharma space. This is lots of wallies on the screen, and I should say it a bit like this audience here. An awful lot of fellas, not many women, which is sort of disappointing, I guess, given the number of females in going through in the life sciences at third level industry. Why aren't there more female promoters? And we have a program at the moment to try and get more female entrepreneurs. Ireland compares. It's just by way of numbers, of the 150 companies we invested in last year, new companies, there were 7% of the promoters were female, which is pretty awful sort of record. Now it's comparable with other OECD countries. But there are places that are much better. California is much better. It would be at maybe 20% of the promoters are female. In New York, it's better. In Australia, strangely enough, it's much better. So clearly there are ways of getting sort of more, I suppose, females to look at sort of the potential here. And we have a competition ongoing at the moment. You might have seen it. 50,000 from Enterprise Ireland, 5,000 from the promoter to essentially come up with a business idea. It's called the Competitive Start Programme. So if you know any sort of budding female entrepreneurs, sort of point them in the direction of the Competitive Start Programme. So we said we could do better maybe at getting projects out of third level. We could do better at getting more maybe female entrepreneurs, and also sort of entrepreneurs from overseas. Historically, we've done maybe 2 or 3 overseas entrepreneurs who came here and set up a business from start in Ireland. There is a view, and these would tend to have been kind of the diaspora, people who worked here in a multinational company and liked it and wanted to come back. But we have established this fund for a 10 million fund for international startups. We are actively looking for entrepreneurs who would be interested in starting a business here. And from a kind of a base of 2 or 3 a year, we'll do we think about 12 or 13 this year. And the pipeline is pretty good. So there are kind of entrepreneurs who would like to start a business here. the assistance that we can give you if you want to start a business, or the promoter starting a business, I suppose, is around what stage are you at, really? Get to investor readiness, raise investment, grow the business. In terms of investor readiness, well, I should say that as it pops up, we are a development agency. So we're interested, I suppose, in projects that will have employment, really. So we're focused on business propositions where we're talking about at least 10 jobs. We've a range of supports to get to investor readiness, pitch workshops, mentors, market information. You got them all down there. Value proposition workshops, introduction to VCs, business angels. Feasibility study is the kind of the standard way to start. We put up 50% of the money for you to put together a business proposition, and this competitive start fund. And what we're looking for, I suppose, is a good idea, an idea that has the potential to be grow sales, exports, jobs in Ireland. Good team. A CEO, I guess, who can sell the business, because in a lot of these businesses, they're high risk. You're going to have to raise money. So it's about someone who actually knows how to do that, and then the access to money, I suppose. The way we invest in HPSUs, then, we obviously have to do the due diligence, the market risk, execution risk, huge execution risk in a lot of these life science projects. Can they actually do it? Financial risks. Usually they're milestone funded, and the question is, can they actually get to the next milestone and raise money then? The amount of money that we provide then depends on the jobs and the cash needed. Our investment is a bit of a mouthful. It's a cumulative convertible redeemable preference share. So in essence, it's like a convertible loan. So it's a loan at 3% for 5 years if you don't take in a VC. If you take in a VC, we have the option of converting into equity at that stage. So we're not motivated really by the financial return. It's really around the benefit to the economy. But if the state takes a risk and people are going to make a lot of money, the state should take its share of the benefit. I mean, that's the philosophy, I suppose. We require at least matching funding. So if we were going to write a cheque for 250, we expect the private sector to write a cheque for 250. And the average initial investment is 250k. So if we do 100 of those a year, that's 25 million. So we probably follow our money in maybe about a third of cases. So we do about 35 million sort of investment a year in startups, which actually makes Enterprise Ireland, one of the largest seed funds in Europe, actually, in terms of the number of investments and the size. Where's the rest of the money come from then? The standard, I suppose, from family, from the Monty Burns of this world, business angels, the competitive start fund. So essentially, pre-seed, kind of the 100,000 kind of level. That's where the money comes from. The next stage, I suppose, is kind of seed fund. 150,000 up to 500,000, and that's essentially, I suppose, comes from, we have 5 seed funds that are active, that are kind of investing at the moment. Enterprise Ireland is a limited partner in each of these funds, so some of the state's money has gone into these as well. And then at the larger state, there are 4 VC funds that are active, and even at a larger stage, still. The state has, through this Innovation Ireland initiative, Enterprise Ireland and the National Pension Reserve Fund have 250 million to co-invest in a series of VCs. So Ireland is well placed, actually, in terms of sort of funding startups. In this kind of pharma bio space, we have a portfolio of exciting, dynamic, young sort of companies, that the state has a stake in pretty well all of them, that hopefully will help pay all our pensions as we go forward. But we're looking for more. And if you have any ideas on sort of other potential sort of business startups out there, we want to hear about them. All the information is on our website, but give us a bell and we'd love to talk. That's it. Thank you.